Welcome to Contractor Fight Sales Podcast. I'm Derek Johnson.
And I am Tim Catroni. Nice seeing you again there, my friend. Hey, guess what I want to talk about?
Hey, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about business, and I want to talk about direction.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, here's the thing is like when a lot of people start businesses, they really just they want to go get a job, produce a project, get paid, and then move on to the next project. But as you're no longer the truck and truck, the one-man show. You start developing a team, and you start hiring people. And what's the hardest thing about running a business, Derek?
People.
It's not always clients. It's the people that you work with.
Yes.
And when you think you're being very clear on something, you obviously aren't, because there wouldn't be any problems if we all communicated perfectly. So it's not really about communication, what I want to talk about. It's about your employees, the people that work with you, your team, understanding where you're headed.
Yes.
And it's not so much like, hey, we're going to create a business and we're going to have $1 million in volume. We're going to have 52 customers or 39 customers or 190 or whatever that number is. It's about what we believe in. As a tribe, we have to all know that we're communicating, where we're headed. And your people that work for you have to feel that your story about where you're going is so big that they feel a part of it. They envelop into your story. You have developed a team of people in your departments, be the maintenance or construction. How do you keep your people tuned in to knowing, like having the pulse on where you're headed? How do you direct them?
It's constant communication, like constant.
Yeah.
And so I went on a hike today, and my hikes usually go about an hour and a half, and I called Jamie to just check in on a couple of things. And next thing I know, I'm sitting at Sweet Milk, little breakfast joint, still on the phone, talking, and I realized I don't even remember my walk. I got in the car somehow, and I made it to breakfast. So what was Jamie and I talking about is we had a subcontractor reach out to us after we gave them an estimated price. I haven't even given them a formal quote, and they already sent us over a DocuSign ready to move forward. And it was just like, whoa, what? Hang on. Like we need to make sure we haven't gotten a signature on our end to go to a DocuSign. So we work through that. But my point being is, if you're not constantly speaking with your team and guiding them and them also helping you solve problems, it's going to be an absolute nightmare, because she could have just signed that document and then we would have committed to a $10,500 project after we reviewed it a little bit. There was a 4-foot pond that neither one of us saw in the design. We thought it was 2 foot, and it's a 6x7 pond, 5x7 pond with a 11-foot stream, 4 foot wide. That doesn't work, does it? In water feature world, that doesn't work at all. But that's the communication that we have. You would think that as long as James has been with me, she could look at that and it would be no problem and could move forward. But it was a detail that she missed, a detail that I missed. So you have to. So and they have to know. So what does it go back? So when you go back to what's the direction of my company is, we want to be so clear and concise and communicate so well that we're able to create happiness in someone else's space. And how we do that is we're not vague and nebulous. And if we don't figure out a way to be super clear with everybody, it's just going to be crazy frustrating. And if I'm not clear on where I want to go, and sometimes I'm not sure where I want to go as a company, because things shift and I have to go, okay, let me redirect back to my standards, redirect back to my values. And if you don't have those things in place, it's going to be just ridiculously frustrating.
I listened to what you said, and I want to make sure I keep that conversation where we're going. And I want to point out to the people who are listening, or maybe people that are watching, is that a lot of times when on podcasts or when people talk, like Tom is really good at it. Tom will say, he'll list out 3 things that he wants to talk about, and he'll give you something actionable to take away. And I don't think we do that, and I don't think we need to do that. So what we want to do: stories, sell, facts, tell. I want to tell a story. We're telling you how we did something or what we encountered. So maybe you don't have the same problem we did, because it's debilitating when it's Groundhog Day and you're having a conversation with an employee about a standard that you have that you thought they understood, and it really was vague. And that's what Derek's talking about. Don't be vague about things. Something that Sean, my business partner, and my son, something that he had years ago was values. He had it in a handbook that he created. It was probably just like a 3-ring binder. It might have been something a little more formal than that, but I had no idea the man had values because he started the company. And there I am saying, we have to have values, Sean. We have to have values. I got him. It's like I never saw him. I sent them to you. It's like, it's like, so when I came on board full time, I said, we have to do something better than what we're doing. And what we created, it was 2-3 years ago, was an employee handbook that everybody who starts with us, everybody that's already with us has a handbook. Everybody's issued it. What days do you have off? How do we get paid? When is payday? How often do we get paid? Sick days. How many do I get? Vacation days. When can I have them? Hey, if something happens, there's a fire in the building, what do we do? Take that a step further. What do I believe in? What do Sean and I, what's the direction we want to have? I mean, as a culture, we all live by some kind of standards. And you can, like an instance, because I can talk about it real easily, is the Bible. We have standards to live by, and you can interpret the Bible a million different ways. The 10 Commandments, the same thing, but there are standards. And you could say, well, I don't believe in the 5th commandment, or I don't believe in the first. Or what does that really mean? Hey, I know I'm not going to go kill somebody. I'm not going to steal. The standards are, right? I'll love my mom and dad. I'll respect them. But the standards that we live by as a culture in my company, which is much smaller than Christianity, I promise you that, I have values, and I'll point to them. They're right there. They're whiteboard right there. They're in my office. They're hanging on the back entranceway. They're in the employee handbook. So everybody knows what we believe in. And what's happened, Derek, is that I think we walk past these things and we don't talk about them enough. So when I have, I'm going to turn my back to the camera and say this, respect yourself and others. You and I feel that would be, what do we have to talk about? That's pretty easy. Just it's self-explanatory. Respect others and yourself. What does that mean? I think honestly, as a company, and I think everybody they should have their values, what's important to themselves and for their culture, they're building, because we're building things as far as a culture and a team and a company. To talk about that, what does that mean?
Hey, before we get into the show today, if you're a contractor stuck under $1 million, you're not missing talent, you're missing the code. I built a free course that's called the Contractor's Code to finally crack in $1 million. It's about 40 minutes long. There's zero fluff, and it'll show you exactly what's holding you back. So hit the link in the show notes or the description and get it now.
And you have to talk about that constantly, because I'm thinking about the OSHA poster that hangs up, all the posters that hang up in our offices that we don't look at, and the standards hang up, and it becomes art that's not seen, or it's seen, but it goes unnoticed, right? And if you're not, I mean, you would walk the talk. So whatever those standards are, the respect yourself and respect others, you'll show that. But it's very important. If you want to be a killer out here and you really want to thrive, you have to talk about these things. And in meetings, you design your meetings around your standards and talk about them. Maybe it's one a week or whatever it is. If you're not talking about that stuff, and here's what's wild. This is wild shit, Tim. When I've said things in a sarcastic manner because I'm just joking, and it was said just in the right way, that someone else heard it and it validated them and made them feel heard in a wild way. When I say sarcastic, it could have been like, oh my God, what you did today was fantastic. And I really didn't mean it, but it came off right. And then all of a sudden they did it again. They did it again because Derek said it was fantastic. So my point being, it's amazing when we talk about these things that we don't think, it's almost, I guess it kind of falls under imposter syndrome. We think because we created these standards that if we say them to people, they really won't believe us because maybe we don't believe them ourselves. But people really will. When you get people on the right seat on the bus, and they understand what self-respect is and to respect others, and then they start doing it, it's powerful for people. That's why it's so important to do these things. And I think I would make a good cult leader.
A good what? Is this the sub?
A cult leader, dude. A
cult leader. Oh my God, dude. Hey, look, I always was told, if you have something to say, people will listen.
Yeah.
Whether it be good or bad, but if you get something to say, people will hear you and they will follow you, because there are followers and there are sheep in life, and there are leaders. I want to go back to the value of respect yourself and others. And that could mean...
What does that mean to you?
Yeah. And I really want to get into that, because if you're saying respect yourself, and we talk about negative talk, and that's the premise of the Contractor Fight, battling the 6 inches between your ears. If you're not respecting yourself, if you're not getting the sleep, getting the exercise, getting the nutrition, what kind of leader are you going to be for your company? What a client's going to think of you? You have to take care of yourself first. That's respecting yourself. Don't talk negative to yourself. Listen to positive podcasts. Read good books about stuff that matters, about self-development, about business, about why we are. I mean, I think as I gotten older, I've reflected more inwardly about why do these things in life? Why am I am the way I am? And I want to understand that it's an age thing. But I think people, if they're in their 20s and they start reading this stuff, these books, oh my God, were they going to be in their 50s? Holy smackers.
So we just built a water feature for a client, and they're 15-year-olds that are doing cold plunges. The son decided to do a cold plunge in this pond, and now he wouldn't get out of bed for nothing. The dad calls and says, I can't believe this. My 15-year-old, and now his buddies, at 5 a.m., they're coming over to the house and doing a cold plunge. So you're exactly right, Tim, as you're saying this, because they've seen a cold plunge somewhere because it's all over the internet. And I'm a huge fan of the cold plunge. But they're doing it in a water feature. They're 15-year-olds. And they're getting up at 5 a.m. to come over to their buddy's house to get in this pond. How crazy is that?
That's, dude. And here's the thing. And when the guy bought the pond, he never said, this is going to change the way my kids think, or my kids are going to be something that to be leaders and their friends will follow them, a bad influence. So, I mean, that's ridiculous. And the guy's going to sing praise. I mean, I would get a testimonial to that, what Ponds did for his adolescence.
I literally told Travis that yesterday. I was like, they're doing what? Okay. We need to talk to that guy.
Respecting
our youth, because of what they're hearing today, is going to be so far ahead. So that ties into what you're saying. You've got young men and women working for you. You're the leader. You're the OG here. And if you're not sharing your standards with your company and with your team, you're doing them a disservice in life.
I've got this thing going on in my head because it's something I want to bring up, but I kind of want to stay on track. The respect thing for yourself. And we've heard it many times that little eyes are watching us. There's always somebody watching you. Ears. Yeah. And your kids repeat what you say, your employees see. If you don't stay true to how you are, if you're saying, I don't know, if you tell your kids don't steal, but they see you taking shit out of behind a register and grabbing gum and not paying for it, it's like they watch. People watch, your employees watch. If you are not respecting, if I'm saying we already respect each other, we got to talk kind to each other, we have to help each other. But I'm seeing like one employee talking negative to another one, and I don't step in and say, hey, come on in here. We have to have a talk. I want to point to this value right here. If we break these values, you cannot be part of this tribe.
Yes.
It's like it's a no-go. It's not like a written notice. It's like, no, you don't get that. I'm telling you now. What for whatever reason you feel you had to say that to him or the way you felt about him, that doesn't matter. It's just, I'm telling you right now, you can't live in a tribe and murder each other. You can't live in a tribe and not be true and lie to each other. You have to be kind. And that was a message from Steve Shinholz like 3 years ago. Be kind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Be kind to you. Be kind to people around you. In this lesson that you just said about we just started talking about youth and making a difference. I had one of my employees, been with me for 2 years, came to me yesterday and asked me, what could I do to become closer to owning the company?
Interesting.
Right? It's huge. It's huge. I mean, how many people listening to this podcast would say, oh my God, Tim's got an exit strategy? Yeah, we all have that though. You just haven't asked the right questions to see who is interested. I've always put that out there when I hire people. It's like, what is your 5-year vision? Where do you see yourself? And if they ask back, well, what do you see yourself? I say, honestly, I want to pass this on to people who want to buy it, especially people who are within the tribe, within our community, within our business, that you fall in love with the way the business I am and you buy it from me. And I already have the winning formula. I'm just passing it on to you. Kind of like we've seen many times, people selling businesses to their employees. It makes sense. But a young man who's in his like 20s coming to me saying, what can I do different? I said, well, tell me, what are you listening to in podcasts? What are you reading? And he's telling me, and I'm like, hey, I know in the battleground, the conversation comes up often, say, what book should I read on sales or self-improvement? And people will post a photo of their bookshelf of the books.
Yep.
And it was years ago. Probably about 5 years ago. I went to see a foot doctor. And I remember, I know you remember this story. Went to go see a foot doctor, and the guy comes in and he said, tell me a little about what's going on. I said, look, I got this toe. It's kind of messed up. It's been like that since I was born. It hurts. Well, tell me what it looks like, if you're walking like in sandals. I said, it's not so bothersome. What about work boots? I says, dude, it's agony after like a couple hours. Okay. What about walking in the sand? I'm like, yeah, it kind of hurts if it's soft sand. It's hard sand. It's not so bad. Okay. If I gave you a magic paintbrush, tell me what it would look like if your foot didn't hurt you. And I'm like, I just looked at him. I go, get the F out of here. What are you reading?
Yeah, stop it. Yeah, stop it.
And he opened up his phone and showed me his books he's reading. I'm like, they're the same books that we read.
Wow.
But he got me. I mean, I'm like, this guy's asking the same questions that you and I would to get pain or pleasure out of somebody.
Yeah.
Something I said to him. What does your future self require of you today?
Oh.
And he said, consistency.
Did he respond pretty quickly?
No, it was thought out.
Okay.
It took, what do you call it? Like a New York minute, whatever it is, New York hour. It took a couple seconds anyways. And I'm like, wow. So he's, I'm not saying who he is because, it's sensitive still, it's a private conversation, but realizing that there is a better version of himself and that he's going to hold himself accountable. And the question would be, well, like you would, or I would, or anyone that we have a relationship with, the question be, what would prevent you from not being consistent?
Yeah.
And figuring that out, because if we can help the future of our business, the future of our world, think about what it's like to respect yourself and be better versions of ourselves. It's like, oh my God, that's a home run. And you and I have been blessed enough to be in a position to make a change for the future.
Tremendously.
Yeah, it's a heavy thing, it's a heavy burden. But we gotta dude, if we don't do it, I mean, look, like I said to him, I says, if you want to do this in 3 years, 3 years is gonna pass whether you do the work or not to become the person you want to be.
Yes.
So why not just suck it up and do the shit that you really don't want to do? If you read a book a month, what are you going to be in 3 years? Oh my God.
It's like I didn't want to go on a hike this morning. Last thing I wanted to do. Did not want to go. Not at all. 5 minutes in the trail. Glad I did.
Yeah. Wish I was with you, buddy. Would have been a great walk.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And but that's the thing. It's like, so when I think of respect, when you say respect and respect yourself, the first thing that popped into my mind is health, self-respect, to take care of yourself. And that's how I respect myself, to take care of my body, especially as I get older. And I think about it all the time. It's like, this is what I have right now. And if I can, I'm not going to let the old man in, as Clint Eastwood would say. And I have to keep continuing doing these things every single day. And if I don't, and it's just like that, it's just like reading a book. It's consistency. And I agree with that. And then I look at it too. Like if I'm going to be, when we speak at different events and we show up at our events, and it's just in my company, I feel it's very important that I look like I take care of myself, and as well as I do take care of myself. Yes. Do I like my cigars and do I like my bourbon? Yes. But I do a lot of other things. So I do the positive and the negative, I guess. But I think about just anybody in company, but it goes back to a standard. I need to take care of myself. I need to present myself in a way. And it's my character, my integrity, because I can't talk this stuff and not walk the stuff.
What you're saying right now about your health and exercise, it may not be important to people who are listening. They may be at a different point in their life, in their 20s. I mean, I remember when I was in the 20s, I eat everything. I mean, I'd be having like Italian sausage and peppers and onion sandwiches before going to bed at like 2 a.m. I mean, that was...
Well, yeah.
like Joe DiMaggio said, if I knew I'd lived this long, I would have taken better care of myself when I was younger.
Sure. Yeah.
But you're at the stage right now, the physical part. Right now, I think that if you could have some kind of like a little bit of everything, because guys, balance is hard. And we always say, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Do the best you can. Little exercise, little overeating, little indulgence, but focus and pour into yourself to be better. Your company, your teammates, even if you don't have a team yet, you set the example. People walk in for an interview, and they see I have a handbook, I have all the paperwork sitting there, and they see, and we talk about my values, I have them there. It's like, these are our company values. Like, what? Who does that? You're a landscaper, right? I go,
yeah, you're a business owner.
Are you? I mean, tell me what I am. What do you see? He's like, and what? You have a pay rate and what you are in mastery ladder. You have what? It's like, yeah, who has that? I don't know. McDonald's even has that.
Not a mastery ladder. It's a Mick ladder.
Mick ladder, that's right. Hey, look, Derek, I guess the important part of this whole podcast was just to let people know where you are. Let your employees know that you're going somewhere. It's not coming to work, punch in, punch out at the end of the day and go home. And, there are people we're going to hire who just want to move rocks and don't want to think about stuff. And that's okay if that's what they want to be, as long as I know and we agree upon that. But if there's people want to be better and they want to hang on for the long ride, I want people to stay. I want people to feel like I care.
It's way easier.
I don't want to rebuild a company year after.
No, not at all.
So people depend upon us. So do the best you can. Have your values. Let people know where you're going and what you believe in. People may not believe in the same thing that you want, your values, and that seat on the bus may not be fitting for them when they see that, and they may have to go. But it's what self-selection, I guess. Is that what they call it? Natural selection?
Yeah, natural selection. Yeah.
I'm Tim.
I'm Derek.
And we'll see you guys next time.